Okay. And so I was just saying that it's not going to be such a serious meeting. Let's find out a little bit about each person here, and so Kimmy, who are you? Who are you? How long have you lived in Colorado? I've seen some of your videos on the internet, and
Uh-huh.
just give us a roundabout about that. Like how long you've been here in Colorado? You're a native, and all that kind of stuff.
Right, right. I pretty much lived in Central California until I was 33. And then I started moving and ended up in the mountains and eventually ended up in Colorado. In 2010, I had an uncle who's now passed who lived in Edgewater and kind of came here for a new beginning after a divorce and ended up in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got some
Okay.
music.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's quite all right. So I have 5 children, 7 grandchildren between the ages. My oldest is 32 and my youngest is 24.
Oh, okay. Grandkids, everything. Okay.
Yeah. And so, I was diagnosed with my disorder, Cogan's, which is a rare eye disorder, about 8 years ago. And almost 2 years ago now, I can't believe it's almost been 2 years, I lost a lot of vision really fast. So I'm visually impaired, and I don't know what the original question is, but
just a little, just give us a little capsulize of you, and then
yeah. So what happened is, when I lost my vision, I was also going through a divorce, and I was living with my parents. I was losing independence. I was losing my driver's license. I was seeing 1,000 doctors, and it was a really rough time for me. And
wait a minute, hold on for a second. How long were you able to see before you lost your vision? Because when you said lost your driver's license, that means that's a loss of a lot of freedom.
yes, indeed it is.
Wow.
It's been about a little over a year ago. I lost my license. I submitted my license. I have visual disturbances, and for a while there, I had a few episodes of hallucinating. Which I have a video. I just don't know. I don't know how to. I got a new phone. I don't know how to use my tools, but I have like a couple of videos. On the subjects I'm talking about right now, and one of those is Barnett's. That's what it's called. Do you remember what it's called, Alan? Something. Charles Bonnet syndrome. So when that happened, I'm like, I cannot take any chance that maybe I won't ever hallucinate again, but it only takes one time and I can kill myself and other people on the road. So I had to make that decision, and that was a really tough one. But where I started gaining my confidence is just is taking care of my health. Like a lot of things happened to me. I've seen lots of doctors, and and it made me feel good when I showed up to an appointment and took medicine as they said. Come back, we talk about it. Something I like to talk about sometimes is I've come off of there's probably 13 different prescriptions they'd probably like to have me on, but through healthy living, eating right, and loving the Lord, and using all those tools, I've managed to come down to 2 medications, which, I have to talk about carefully because I do not hold that against anybody who does. I just happen to be, in a situation where, bad headaches. Well, I need to, lower my salt intake, and they give me a pill for it. I'm like, wait, I'll just lower my salt intake and forget the pill. It's that kind of stuff. So I have no judgment on anybody.
A lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom.
Yeah. So yes, I've just got a lot of things that happened, and I started getting better, and I just like sharing about that on my channel and helping others, and that's about it.
Tell us the name of your channel.
Oh, it's called Blind Talk.
Okay.
And if you put in Kimmy, and usually just Blind Talk will bring it up. There's really no other channels called Blind Talk. So I think Alan and I got really fortunate with that. And yeah.
So if
Oh,
you just in the search bar,
Yeah,
Kimmy
just
and
in the
Alan,
search bar, Kimmy and Alan, it'll come up, or Blind Talk Kimmy, Blind Talk Alan, any of
right.
those brings it right up. And I
Yeah.
just started a page, but with my new telephone, it's an Android. I went from iPhone to Android. I am not able to figure out their editing tools, where their information is, and I
And
did
they
start
don't
a
have like
page.
they have a thing where you can call in and then they can take over the phone. Well, not take it over, but they can see your screen and then they can guide you on how
Oh
to.
my gosh, that would be great.
Because
That's
I
the
know iPhone has that because I use
I
that all the time.
Yeah, I don't have an iPhone anymore, and that's where I'm at. Is I used to use iMovie and some of the editing tools, and I've used iPhone for 10 years, and suddenly I'm Android, which I do prefer the Android. I just have to I
Learn
have to
now
get
how
over
to
a
use their
couple of
tools.
hiccups. So I got a
Yeah.
channel or a page on Facebook. It's also called Blind Talk with Kimmy, and that's just an extension of my channel. And then I have an Instagram where I just haven't had time to get to yet.
Okay.
So
Now,
I'm still in the beginning stages.
now, when you were talking about these illusions and stuff like that, I can relate to that because I had a corneal transplant, and the doctors wanted to save the corneal, so it had to trick the body into to not believe that it should reject this foreign object. So they put me on a high doses of prednisone, and
That was what I was on. That
and
is so interesting you
yeah.
say that. Okay.
So when I looked out, I heard a knock on the door, or at least I thought, and I looked out my mother's. I was living at her house. The door the part that you look out, and I could have swore I saw a team of SWAT guys pointing guns at the house. And
Oh,
I said,
oh, that's
"Whoa, this is
crazy. That's crazy.
pretty
And so at
serious."
first you don't realize, I mean, for me, what it was, my niece and I were going to go for a walk, and it's bear season up in Hartselle. And so you got to be really careful. And I look out the window and I'm like, oh my gosh. I go, we can't go walking. I go, there's bears and baby bears. They're in the tree. And I called my mom over and my niece, and they're like, where? And they thought I was messing around. But right after that, I started seeing elephants and giraffes and baby squirrels and bears in the trees. And
Right.
and I was like, at the time, my life was so
So weird.
it was
Yeah.
so depressing, and I was so bored. I just entertained myself. I'm like, forget this. Go back to the kitchen window, watch the giraffes go by. I live in the middle of the mountains, and I'm checking out giraffes and elephants. This is cool, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
Now,
really, what happened is we thought about, am I hurt? Do I need to go to a hospital? Am I having a mental breakdown? You know, if I just finally just had enough. And so we really did talk about, you know, my family, like, hey, should I go to the hospital? This is crazy. And so we looked up on the internet what can cause you to suddenly begin to hallucinate without any, you know, mental other thing that came up. Charles Bonnet and Charles Bonnet or Bonnet. Bonnet, and I talked to a few of my doctors about it. I even had one eye doctor tell me it was all in my head. And my ENT, I was on a high dosage of prednisone, which I don't take prednisone because of this anymore. It really has to be life-threatening for me. And so that's why I have a whole different way of eating to keep inflammation down in my body, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah.
And that's going to be for another time, because I'm going to have you guys back again. Alan, give us a little feedback on your life for since this is a new world. What is it called, Zoom stuff, so I can bring this kind of show. So tell us a little bit about your history and where you're from and all that kind of stuff.
I'm Alan Colvin. I'm from Colorado. I'm a native. I've been blind all my life, so you know, I've been blind since birth. I had the whole retinopathy of prematurity thing going on, so I was born probably 3.5 months before I was supposed to be, and I held the record for the smallest child born in Colorado for about 4 years.
Oh man, somebody took that claim away eventually.
Right. I design websites. I help out with whatever project I can, where I can. And, you know, with the advent of these new technologies, it's really hard to keep up. But I'm keeping up as best I can with the circumstances being what they are. Not used to being unemployed and no money. So, you know, I have to depend on rehab to get job done. But love my country, love the the foundational principles therein. And so, you know, I'm all freaked out when it comes to the United States Constitution. So, you know, I'm one of these card-carrying Republican conservative God and country guys.
Okay. All right. Now, before we get to Tony, I want to remind you that you're watching Innervision FM TV, seen on channel 56, Comcast 56 on Wednesday nights. And you'll see, right now, the audience, you're seeing the unedited version, as this was the first time I did something like this, so I had to learn how to bring people in and all that good stuff. And thank you for your patience in that. But when we rebroadcast this on TV, and maybe when I'll edit it, I'll put on the edited version. And then I want to remind the audience that we are doing a Thursday contest when we get enough participants, where we will play music of artists, and there's an interest to raise money for Innervision. Also, there the people can vote, and that's a little donation. And then at the end of the 4 weeks, the artist wins 40% of the pot, and the voters, one of the voters will win 40% if their artist that they've been voting on wins that voting period. I used to do this in clubs a lot, and so we're just doing a similar thing, and it's like a slow build up, and then the audience really gets into it, and then it becomes like a full house. So so that's what we're doing. Also remind you, I have the book 6 Shades of Blindness out there. It's a book that I wrote just talking about how my evolution, where I came to write a movie that I use mostly disabled people before Hollywood even thought about using disabled people in movies.
Right.
So I wrote that screenplay, learned a lot of things about picking cameras, and finding out that when you film something, you're only supposed to use one camera. And so in the editing, it really showed from the what do they call them, camcorders, to the
the quality of that. Yeah.
Yes. So it was an interesting process, but it was fun, and really enjoyed it. And so I'm glad that that Hollywood is now, you know, having visually impaired people as advisors, and using visually impaired people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, before we get to Anthony Romo, one of our artists who was on he was at our fundraiser this weekend, and that you will see that show here. And let me play his spot, and then we'll get on to Anthony Romo here.
My name is Brother D'Angelo Travis, and you listen to Innervision FM.
Thank you, D'Angelo. Now, Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Give us a little background from you. And the fun thing about this, everybody, Alan, and I forgot your name. I'm sorry. Kimmy. Okay, Kimmy, Colorado Springs, Tony, Texas, and it's like I'm here in Denver, and this is so much fun to be able to interview you without having you travel way over here and all that kind of stuff. So, Tony, tell us your journey and where you are right now.
Yeah, Johnny, it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
Kimmy, it's nice to hear your story. That's interesting, and you too there. Alan. What's your name? Alan. Yeah, Alan. So yeah, I was born and raised in Denver, but I spent pretty much my whole life there. But the last 3 or 4 years, I've been living in the Houston, Texas area. And primarily I met Johnny a long time ago, way back at the Victory Chapel, I think. Chapel?
Victory Outreach, or Victory Chapel, yeah.
Yeah, Victory Chapel with Norman Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And through the years, he went his way, I went my way, but somehow or another we got connected back up. Probably been about 10 years ago or so, something like that. Mm-hmm. And Johnny was working with disabled artists, and at the time I was suffering through cancer, went through cancer, and had some stuff go through with the cancer problems, and I got healed from that, and I just connected with Johnny real well. So what I primarily do is I had in Denver, I used to work as I did a lot of contemporary music, Christian music with churches. A lot of times I was their music director or music co-leader, or I always had something to do with that at a church. And then I had my own outreach team, people that I connected with, and I had an outreach where we would go do different outreaches. And Johnny was often one of the outreaches we went and did, as my group was called Fresh Oil from Heaven, or Fresh Oil Crew, and we'd go do outreaches like that. And so when I moved to the Houston area, I tried to duplicate what I was doing in Denver, but it wasn't so successful out here. There was a lot of there's a lot of churches, big churches out here, a lot going on, and I just felt like I needed to just settle down after a while, try to get recovered from the cancer, because I was still suffering through some side effects. Physical side effects from the cancer. And so I spent the last few years doing that. And now I'm kind of getting better. My health's getting stronger, and I'm going back into outreach, and I'm going back into working with the churches here.
Yeah.
So I'm currently involved.
You said something,
Amazing.
Alan, Tony, you said something. You said at one point you got dehydrated, but you didn't know you were dehydrated. And I said, man, that's fascinating. And tell us about the difference between the weather there and how that can just easily creep up on you. Because I thought that was fascinating.
Well, you know, coming from Denver, you know, I'm born and raised in Denver, so I'm used to the Denver weather. But Houston is, we're probably less than an hour away from Galveston, which is the sea down here, the water down here, and it's hot down here in Houston. It's hot and it's humid. And so you literally will walk outside on any given day, and you're out there for a minute and you're just sweating. You're just soaked from the moisture in the air and from the heat. And it's really hot. So we run a lot of 90 plus, 100 degrees plus days. And then you factor in 10 more degrees for the moisture content, and you're running 100 to 110. And so I was outside, I was outside, not a lot, but mowing the grass and things like that. And one day I got sick and I thought there was something wrong. And I went into the doctor and they told me I had been so severely dehydrated that my kidneys had failed.
Oh, holy smoke, bro.
Yeah, I had kidney failure going from dehydration. And so it took me about 3-4 days to get rehydrated again. And I knew that I was getting dehydrated because my skin was beginning to get dried out. My face was starting to peel, you know, from dryness.
Yeah.
And it's just hot out here. It's just really, really hot. And so water is, you know, you got to drink a lot of water. And I started drinking the Gatorade stuff because the Gatorade has those electrolytes. Actually, my doctor had put me on Pedialyte for the baby.
Absolutely.
That has a lot of electrolytes in it, but it was so expensive. It was like $5 a bottle, and the Gatorade's $1 a bottle. So I switched over to Gatorade.
Yeah, exactly. So and then they want you to drink that how many times a day? Like 5 times a day or something like that?
They did. You know what? They didn't even tell you that. They didn't tell me that, but I drink about 3 of those bottles a day. Yeah, roughly 3 bottles a day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not much more than buying a soda pop, really.
All right. What I'm going to do now, because we do a lot of stuff with the music, and Tony he had put together this song, and I was very impressed with it. It's not out there for people to buy yet or whatever, and whatever Tony decides to do with it, that's fantastic.
So we're getting a preview.
Yeah, so you're getting
on innervisionfm.org.
Yeah. So I wanted to listen to the music, and then we'll come back, and then we'll continue this discussion, and audience, if you're on YouTube, subscribe, like it, share it. Everywhere, share this information, because I used to do a TV show where I just invited people to come in and have conversations like this. So when they're in the buses with the kids, and the kids say, well, Mom, how come he has a cane? Mom says, don't talk about that, or why is that this?
Right.
We want to give people a chance to say, okay, and without the filter of someone saying, well, you can't ask them that, or you can't talk about this or that.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's all
So
about education.
all right. So this is That Mountain, and we'll be right back on Innervision FM with Johnny J. Here on Innervision FM. Oh, by the way, it's not gonna be muted, so we'll just go through a listening session, and then we'll come back and talk after that.
The Bible talks about if you won't praise me, he'll get the rocks and the trees and the mountains to praise him, and that's what was inspiration behind this song.
I hear a sound coming down from that mountain. I hear a sound like a trumpet of praise. Awesome like thunder is a sound in that mountain. I wanna sing like that trumpet of praise. I hear a sound coming down from that mountain. I hear a sound like a trumpet of praise. Awesome like thunder is a sound in that mountain. I wanna sing like that trumpet of praise. Ring out your voice like the sound in that mountain. Sing like that trumpet, giving God all the praise. Let's celebrate in one voice like that trumpet. Sing out your love, giving God all his praise. Ring out your voice like the sound in that mountain. Sing like that trumpet, giving God all the praise. Let's celebrate in one voice like that trumpet. Sing out your love, giving God all his praise. Well, I hear a sound coming down from that mountain. I hear a sound like a trumpet of praise. Awesome like thunder is a sound in that mountain. I wanna sing like the trumpet.
My name is Brother D'Angelo Travis, and you listen to Innervision FM.
Okay. All right.
That was great. I loved that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to take 20 seconds of that and use it on an intro on my channel. We have to talk about that. I love that. Hey.
Yeah, I left about a 30-second section in there. I don't know, maybe it was 15 or so, for a rapper to come in, in the middle there, and just kind of throw down some rap lyrics. In between that, I was working with this rapper, but then he backed out, and I said, I'll just leave it like that in case they ever use it somewhere. And there's a rapper, he can come in and just drop some lyrics in there.
Nice.
There. Yeah, and I use it just to talk over, introduce something, talk about something, and then when he comes in, then I cut off. So it's a good like a musical bed to talk.
Sure is.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you two. Are you guys Christian? You go to church somewhere?
Well, we're absolutely Christian, and we go to church when and where we can.
Okay, all right.
I've joined the ABC Church in Colorado Springs here, and I found a gal there by accident. I'm just researching healthy living and looking up essential oils. And she ended up being a Christian lady and become my friend, and she brings me to church there, and I'm going to come and visit there. I think that he'd like it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. The reason I was asking was because I have probably about maybe 7 or 8 songs. I just have I haven't been able to. I haven't had the desire to put them out and use them as a money making thing. I just use them for personal stuff.
Right.
But now I've got people that can. I've got vocals now with my church. I got a lot of vocals in there, so I'm going to try to redo them and let them do the vocals, because I really don't do vocals much, but I let them do them. And so I'm going to redo a bunch of my music and have them do the vocals. And I think almost everything I have is really pretty good. I love what I'm able to do.
So I want to thank you guys. And Alan, is there a way that people can get hold of you if they're looking for web services or what you do?
Yeah, we pretty much, all of the channels between Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube, you can find it all under Blind Talk Kimmy, or Blind Talk Kimmy and Alan. And our email is theblindcollective@gmail.com.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Blind Collective, all one word, TheBlindCollective.com. Sorry, at gmail.com. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, theblindcollective@gmail.com. And yeah, I can help out with whatever's necessary. I like to go ahead and offer my services for free first off, because people are going to want to know, what can you do? And by golly, if they're happy with my services, they're going to come back. I also offer services wherein I can help people troubleshoot setting up their Google Assistant devices, whether it be a Google Home Mini, whether it be whatever, whether it be an Amazon Echo, Alexa thing, whatever. I can help set those up. Generally, when folks want that kind of setup, it's going to have to be an in-home gig, and with the new stay-at-home orders and blah blah blah, all that stuff, it kind of puts a cramp in things. So I am hoping for the stimulus, because boy.
Okay, now Tony, how can songwriters, singers, people like that get a hold of you to enhance your creativeness?
Mostly through Facebook. I think you need to look up Anthony Romo or Fresh Oil from Heaven, one of the two. Anthony Romo or Fresh Oil from Heaven is where my Facebook account is at, and through that we can connect up. I was going to ask you guys, did you say you had a Facebook too? What was your Facebook?
She's got a Facebook page. She could tell you a little bit about that.
It is the Blind Talk with Kimmy. That's what it's called, Blind Talk with Kimmy, and that's on Facebook.
That's your Facebook. Okay, yeah.
That's my Facebook page, yes.
Now, I'll probably start one, but it'll be a little bit different, and it'll have different things. So I'm not at all sure how we're going to do that, because branding has to be followed and all kinds of stuff. So Kimmy and I got to talk. But
we're in a learning curve.
There'll be some similar pages, or there'll be a similar page that I'll start Blind Talk with Alan. Yeah, we'll just go from there. We'll collaborate together, and we'll continue this YouTube channel. And, we'll work with Johnny, because here's the main thing that needs to really be put out there. This guy has been working this thing since 1993, at least, since I've known him. And he has been beating this drum for 27 years. And he's finally gotten to a place where all the dominoes have fallen into the right places, and everything is really getting ready to cook. So it's important. Go to innervisionfm.com. Check his stuff out, innervisionfm.org. Check him out on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe, because this is important for the blind community.
Okay.
Yeah, for all artists, all disabled artists. He runs it. He runs it for all disabled artists.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm going to say thank you to my three guests, and we'll see you the next time on Innervision FM with Johnny J in the house.